Well, welcome everyone to the Scout Nebraska weekly live stream. We do this every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time here in Nebraska. And the goal of this program is just to get more eyes on the field. We've got experts across the state in Nebraska Extension, and we're asking them to show us what's going on in the fields that they're watching. So, for everyone who joins, hopefully you'll see some interesting things. And we live stream this so we can give you the most up-to-date things that we're seeing across the state. So, additional to that, we've got another event going on today, which is the Scout Nebraska Bounty Program that we're starting. Today is the beginning of our first 2-week bounty period where we're going to tell you guys the name of a pathogen, in this case, that's going to be found and showing up in Nebraska fields over the next 2 weeks. And if you go out and you record a video and post it online to X or Facebook with the hashtag Scout Nebraska, you'll have the chance to win the $100 bounty and a Scout Nebraska hat. We're going to draw 2 lucky winners from all eligible posts every 2-week period, and we're going to do this for the rest of the summer. So stay with us today, and at the end of today's event, in about 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so, we'll unveil which pest we're asking for videos of this week. But first of all, I'd just like to introduce our guest today, Chris Termundi. He is a plant pathologist with Nebraska Extension, and he is in a field of wheat soy intercrop. And I also want to introduce Tamara Jackson Zims, our corn pathologist, who's here today. So let's jump out to Chris. And Chris, can you tell us where you're at and what's going on out there?
So yeah, I am out here. I am just east of Bertrand, Nebraska. I am basically on the county line of Gosper and Phelps counties down here in south central Nebraska. Um, I am out. Let me switch my camera around here if I can see my screen.
Yeah, it looks like you've got a unique field back there.
Yes.
Strips. If I was driving by that, I think that would catch my eye.
Yeah. So it is, as you can see, we've got green and brown striped together, but this brown here is where our wheat was about a week ago, and he harvested the wheat right off the top of the soybean. I, I would say he was actually pretty lucky to get what he got. Wheat started pretty rough down here, and in fact, you can see here we still have some wheat where the heads are still on the wheat plant due to it being too short to harvest out from around the beans. The other thing you might notice is these beans are actually a shorter variety, which is something you'd want to do when doing this type of relay system so that when you come across to harvest your wheat, you don't wind up with any of your beans getting into the harvesting head. A week ago when he was harvesting this, there were see how his herbicide program went, and if you can see, he's got probably a good 90%, 95% kill rate on the weeds. And then I was looking at staging the beans and staging them where at bloom, I think I've seen a couple with a pod or two on them. So we're probably R2, R1, R2. And then I've also been looking for Dectes stem borer, see if we're going to have a problem with that little worm. Or I've also been looking for white mold, though they don't have a history of it in this field. And our canopy is just too thinned out for it to really be an issue. Right now, it's looking good, if not a little small. But again, it's been out here competing with wheat all year.
So, Chris, you posted a video maybe a week or two ago of the harvest going on in this field.
Right.
And you talked about the heights of those soybeans as being really important. But one thing that caught my eye, did they have a mechanism on that harvest bar that was pushing down the beans as it drove through there? Did they have something like a shield holding those down too?
Yeah, there is I can't remember the name of the company, but they make a skid plate, and it's actually meant to push the crops down to protect them. They were a little bit skinny, so he actually had PVC, a little bit longer section of PVC pipe strapped to the bottom of it. But what that did is he lined that over the beans to push them down some more so that he wouldn't harm the beans as he was out here harvesting the wheat.
And did you mention what sort of yield he got off that wheat?
So some parts of the field, he said he was getting 80 bushel. Some parts he was at 30. He hasn't gotten me his field averages yet. He said he would.
Yeah, that's a big range, but it's great to see they were having success, especially in some areas. This is sort of I don't know if this has any historic aspect to it to intercrop other things with wheat, but there might be a lot of opportunities with wheat in the future.
Yeah. So I know that intercropping is usually soybean and usually a grass um, or a small grain. Barley is one that's done quite a bit. Unfortunately, our neb guides, the last time we have a neb guide with any data on this system was from, I think that data was from 91. So we're a little bit outdated.
Wow.
I'm hoping to do some on farm research with this farmer next year with this system and one of our specialists, Nicholas, out of North Platte, and maybe we'll update that data here soon.
Wow. Yeah. Soybean farming has completely changed since 1991, so it's fascinating. Now, how about weed control in a situation like this? You don't have a lot of open ground, but you have a wheat system that doesn't have a herbicide trait, and the soybeans, do they have a herbicide trait?
They do, I believe they're enlist beans, is what he told me. But for weed control, basically, he has to wait until he harvests off the wheat before he can put down his herbicide. And that's
Mhm.
why you can see we've got a bunch of dead weeds standing out in the middle of the field. He applied that immediately after harvest.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Wow. Okay. Is there any disease or anything showing up on those beans?
Nope, I don't even have any yellow leaves, to be honest with you. You can see the canopy is relatively thin. I'm hoping what'll happen is the next several weeks it'll start to fill in, but right now, um, nothing much as far as disease.
Wow. And did he plant that with a 30-inch planter and just skipped every other row, or how far apart are those two row of
So
soybeans?
it's 30-inch beans with 4 rows of wheat in between. The 4 rows of wheat I think are on an inch or out of a drill at an inch a row, inch between rows. So maybe a little more.
That's amazing. Excellent. Well, Tamara, do you have any questions?
Well, I was just looking at it, kind of wondering when the last good rain was that you had in that area, and also wondering if have you guys confirmed soybean cyst nematode out in that area, wondering what the effects might be on that.
Um, I know we've got the bags. I don't know if we've confirmed it. Before I do the on-farm research, I'll probably pull those soil samples to see for myself. But he said the farmer out here said he's not had much issues with any disease or insects.
That's good.
So I I am not positive. As for our last rain, it's probably been a week and a half since a good one. We had a couple of pop-up storms here and there over the last week, but they didn't produce much.
Mm, looks pretty dry. I see a pivot back there. I'm guessing that's not reaching where you're at.
No, it's running though. He doesn't have the end gun on.
Mhm.
Yeah, good thought bringing up soybean cyst nematode. We are seeing it further and further out west, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have it in those counties. That testing program is free for all Nebraska growers, so feel free to send in any of that soil, and we'll count those up here on East Campus, and we'll send those results right back out to you. But it's a hard pest to know if you're losing yield to it, so it's good to know if it's down there so you can take some active management decisions with that data.
Yeah.
So Chris, what else are you seeing out in your neck of the woods?
Uh, for soybean, not much. Again, they're mostly R2. I've seen some R2, R3 starting to set pods. Uh, no white mold in any of the fields I've been into yet, but we'll see them in the coming weeks. My corn, I've got some bacterial leaf streak, gray leaf spot in the area. I know there's some tar spot around as well. It's been confirmed for Phelps County. And then I've got some bacterial stock rot I gotta go take a look at.
Mhm. That might be worth talking about a little bit, there's a lot of bacterial diseases in corn in Nebraska and other Great Plains states, and we don't talk much about bacterial stalk rot, but during certain years, especially when we start getting hot temperatures like we have these last few days and next few days, we can see some of that start to pop up. So if people have doubts about that, they can sure submit samples to the UNL Plant and Pest Diagnostic Clinic. But one of the sure diagnostic ways to tell it apart from other bacterial diseases is that awful odor that we often experience with those affected plants. So that might be something we can start talking about. And
Yeah.
sometimes that can start at the tops of the plants, or if we've got ponding in fields during really hot weather after a storm, we can see it start at the bottom and melt those plants down pretty fast.
Mhm. Okay, well, thanks for showing us, Chris. I think
Yes,
let's
sir.
jump over and we'll jump over and I'm gonna unveil what the first Scout Nebraska bounty is. Now remember, you need to go out and take a video of this and just post it on X or Twitter with the hashtag ScoutNebraska, and you'll get entered into that drawing. I'm going to share up a little promo video that I made, and I'll play that real quick. Our first Scout Nebraska bounty pest is white mold of soybean. If you can find white mold in your fields, take a short video and upload it to X or Facebook with the hashtag Scout Nebraska. You could be one of 2 individuals selected to win a Scout Nebraska hat plus the $100 bounty. You've got 2 weeks, starting Friday, July 17th, to post your white mold bounty posts. All right, that's it. The first one is white mold. We haven't seen a lot of it in the state, so it might be a bit of a challenge this year, especially with all the heat that we've had. But it looks like next Tuesday we might change direction and cool off a little bit. But a lot of the state, there's pockets where they've been irrigating heavy and it could show up. So if you see it, post a video, say you found it, and tag hashtag Scout Nebraska, and you'll have a chance to win. If you have any questions, contact us at Nebraska Extension. And if you need any other resources on this, you can go online to cropwatch.unl.edu and look at our plant disease pages in this case, or you can find more plant disease information at the Crop Protection Network. Is there anything else I'm missing, Tamara and Chris?
Uh, doesn't have anything to do with plant health, but it has to do with the farmer's health. It's going to be hot. It's going to be extremely humid. Don't push yourself. Get in the air conditioning if you need it and have plenty of water.
Yeah, we'd all do well to remember that one. It's tough out there right now. So thank you for that reminder, Chris. Tamara?
It's a good message. Thank you. Well, I'm excited about the first bounty for Scout Nebraska. I was just thinking about, you may not be expecting that in a situation like where Chris is at right now, but and even, further west, a lot of folks don't know there is a history of some white mold in parts of southwest Nebraska, for example, and so under irrigation that can still occur. So thanks for mentioning that.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We appreciate it today. We'll be back here every Friday this summer at 11 a.m. Nebraska time. So join with questions, join with conversation. We're happy to see you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.